Alright, I don't know why I'm so pumped for today's video, but I just ate 2 homemade Irish potatoes, and that's probably why. So I'm like loaded with powdered sugar. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. There's like a thing here because the cats make me itch, and I don't know why I have cats if I'm allergic to them, but I do. But that's not what we're talking about today, so let's get on to the real topic here. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to tame an aggressive bearded... Alright, we're going to turn this off. Get out of here. This is all from research and what I've seen online because Fitz is the only bearded dragon I've had, and I didn't really need to tame her because she was already friendly. So I'm just going to basically be giving it to you guys in a video form, and hopefully these methods work for you. So first, let's start off with the basics. What is an aggressive or untamed bearded dragon? So you know your bearded dragon is untamed, at least with you, if they are getting stressed out by your appearance, stressed out by your hand being around them being picked up, them being out of their enclosure. So if you just need your bearded dragon to be tamed, whether it's an adult or a juvenile, then click the link down below. If you need to tame an aggressive beardy, then that's a different story. Like if your bearded dragon's literally trying to bite you while you're going in their tank, then this one's for you. So first off, let me show you my bearded dragon and how she is tamed. This is Fitz. This is my tamed bearded dragon. As you can see, when I'm holding her, she's perfectly fine with being held. She's perfectly fine with me holding her with one hand. She doesn't really care much how she's held because she is familiar with me and she knows I'm not gonna drop her on the floor. I could put her up to my face. She won't go after me. I could put my finger in front of her face. She knows that it's not food. So this is a very friendly tamed bearded dragon. And for my subscribers who've been here for a long time, you guys already know that Fitz is probably one of the most friendly bearded dragons you will ever meet. This is iconic. I'm pretty sure she's a giant bearded dragon, because what bearded dragon is the size of someone's head like this? Look how big she is. She's the size of my head. Look at this! Oh my goodness. She doesn't have a black beard, and she's not showing any signs of stress. That is what your goal is by the end of this video, and we're gonna get you there. Okay guys, so I have a couple methods for you guys to try, and you could kind of debate down below in the comments which one works for you or which one you know works the best, and maybe give people the opportunity to try them out. So the first method I'm going to discuss is the petting method. If your bearded dragon doesn't really like your hand in the tank or anywhere near them and they try to attack you, then that is an issue. What I recommend doing is slowly approaching them with your hand. This may take some time, this probably will take a lot of time, but this is all about patience because you don't know what that bearded dragon went through before you got him, and you don't know how timid they are yet. You know, this is your first time experiencing with this bearded dragon. They could have been abused before you, so you don't know whether they're afraid of people or not. I recommend putting your hand on the other side of the tank, but putting it in the tank. If your bearded dragon seems stressed out, do not move your hand. Slowly approach your bearded dragon with your hand. If they become more stressed out, then take your hand out and try again in a couple minutes, but start from the other side of the tank. You want to gradually work your way into touching your bearded dragon. You probably want to start petting your bearded dragon somewhere in their body and not their head, so when you're petting them, they can see you. Because bearded dragons have eyes on the side of their head, so they can actually see behind them, they can see their tail and the bottom half of them. I would highly recommend starting at the tail at least, because at least they know what you're doing, they could see what you're doing, and it's not over their head. Because when you try to pet them on their head, they're just gonna get stressed out because they can't really see you, and they'll just be looking up and trying to bite you because they don't know what you're doing to them. So I recommend starting from the tail. Just slowly pet maybe the tip of their tail and work your way up so they can be familiar with you and know that you're not here to hurt them, you're just here to love them and give them a great home. So you can start petting their tail, and as you pet their tail, you can work your way up. If your bearded dragon at any given time looks like he becomes stresses out, hisses at you, starts to attack you, then take your hand out and start from the beginning. It's a very slow process, and if you try about 3 or 4 times in one day and your bearded dragon is still not used to you going towards them to pet them, then I highly recommend just stopping and trying the next day, because at least they're getting used to the fact that your hand is going to be in the tank. I recommend doing this daily because the more you have your hand in there and the more attention you give them, the better they'll be. So that's the first method, just going along and slowly petting them, slowly introducing your hand to the tank. I don't know if this method is online, but I know I came up with this method myself. But you can also try the hand feeding method. So pick your bearded dragons, or whatever their favorite food is, whatever they go to first in their food bowl, and put it in your hand. Slowly put your hand into their enclosure and try feeding them. Now this is a warning because you don't want to get your bearded dragon used to being hand fed. You only want to do it so they're used to you and they can trust you. You want to put the food slowly in front of them and just keep trying that, and if they work their way towards your hand and take the food, you can then begin to pet them and see wherever that takes you. Again, at any given moment, if they do look stressed out, take your hand out of the tank before you get chomped on. Hand feeding can probably be one of the best methods because your bearded dragon sees the food in your hand and sees what you're doing at all times, and if a bearded dragon takes the food out of your hand, then they must really trust you. If this doesn't work right away, don't worry, just keep trying it daily to get your hand in there and get them familiar with you and show them lots of attention, because this is crucial and you definitely want to make sure your bearded dragon trusts you, so every time you go to pick them up, they don't want to bite you. When a bearded dragon is stressed out and aggressive, that means they feel threatened. So it necessarily doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean that your bearded dragon doesn't like you. It just means that your bearded dragon doesn't trust you yet and isn't really familiar with you. So this is definitely a good time to make sure they get a lot of your attention and a lot of your sense. Now that you have these two different methods to work with, we're going to move on to the next step of taming your aggressive bearded dragon. Once you get to the point that they're allowing you to pet them and they're pretty comfortable with that, then you can start moving on to the holding stage. When you go to try to pick up your bearded dragon, you want to pick them up from their chest and then support their butt at the same time, then lift their butt up with their chest and then pick them up that way. So you're going to want to start off with that position, but make sure you pick them up with both hands. Don't get comfortable with picking them up with one hand until you have both hands down and you're very careful and you know that you can pick them up with one hand. Definitely support them with two hands because then they will feel safe. If you try to pick them up and they are stressed, then stop. Just continue petting them since they're used to it. This again will take a lot of time and a lot of attention. You can start off by picking up their front and then petting their head and seeing how they react to that, then move on to the bottom and then pick your whole bearded dragon up and see where it goes from there. If your bearded dragon successfully lets you pick them up and they're comfortable with you, then that's when you have more leeway to do more with your bearded dragon. You can put them on your shoulder, you can let them walk around the floor. Bearded dragons are really great reptiles and I highly recommend them as pets because they can be very loving even though they're little scaly things and they might freak some people out, but they are very loving and they have feelings just like humans do. So whenever they're stressed out, just make sure you work with them. It's nothing against you, it's just how the bearded dragon is. And there is no bearded dragon that can't be tamed, so good luck with your taming process. If you do have an aggressive bearded dragon, just remember it takes a lot of patience and a lot of time and to just work with them. Because then soon you'll have a bearded dragon like Fitz that doesn't really care if you take her out or not. Show him, Fitz. Your beard is kind of dark though, but that's probably because she sees the other bearded dragon in this room. So I hope you all enjoyed this video and I hope you guys can take something from this and I hope I helped you. So leave your comments down below letting you know what method worked for you the best and maybe other methods that I didn't mention that you can leave down below to help other people out, because having an aggressive bearded dragon can definitely be a little problematic and it can be stressful to the owner and the bearded dragon, so just make sure you're dedicated. So thank you guys for watching and stay tuned for the next video.